Now, do you remember the Abrahamic Accords? You know, we've spoken about it a few times these past few months. The Abrahamic Accord is an agreement on normalizing relations between Israel and the Arab nation. It is an attempt to a peace treaty, a long-awaited one, and so far United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco signed the agreement to be at peace with Israel. This treaty brought Netanyahu to say that the Abrahamic Accords opened up a new era of genuine peace, dawn of a new era of peace. However, this accord was interrupted by the war with Hamas on October 2023. But see that now, this peace treaty between the Arab nations and Israel looks like it is being revived as never seen before. You know, just yesterday, President Trump said that he believes that Saudi Arabia will join the Abrahamic Accord, right? Saudi Arabia remains the most significant potential signatory to the Accords. Trump is planning to visit Riyadh, the Saudi capital, next month, which will mark his first political trip, actually. And he added, he says, I think it will be full very quickly. We had 4 countries in the Abrahamic Accord. It was all set. We would have had it packed. Now we're going to start it again, he says. So he seems to have this accord at heart. Then yesterday as well, we heard of another unlikely candidate who wants to join this accord, the new leader of Syria, President al-Shahra. He said to be looking for peace with Israel and is eyeing entry into the Abrahamic Accords. This is really a complete turnaround for Syria, by the way. Also on the table for possibly entering these accords is Lebanon. Now, Syria, Lebanon, these 2 possibilities suggested by the Congressman Mills last Thursday. And besides these events, 3 days ago on April the 23rd, Jordan banned the Muslim Brotherhood, declaring it illegal organization. This group actually is a group that Hamas belongs to. What is happening in the Middle East, actually? So we ask, what triggers these events, and why are these events so important to us as believers in the Scriptures? Besides the fall of much of Hezbollah and much of Hamas, this attempt to a peace treaty in the Middle East may very well be prophetically significant. The Abrahamic Accords may be the beginning of the deceptive false peace treaty which Bible prophecies speak of as the point of departure of the 7-year tribulation period. I'm not saying that this is it. But the Abrahamic Accords could very well be a precursor to the visions recorded, especially by Daniel the prophet. He tells us when the tribulation begins. It's in Daniel chapter 9, verses 27. He says, he, that is the Antichrist, will make a firm covenant with the many for 7 years. But in the middle of the 7 years, he will put a stop to sacrifice and grain offerings until complete destruction, one that is decreed, is poured out on the one who makes desolate. The he again, at the beginning of the verse, is the Antichrist. He begins his work by signing a covenant with Israel for 7 years. He guarantees Israel a peace, that is, a peace for 7 years, and a false one. This is why in Revelation 6, he is seen riding on a white horse. But it is not peace that follows, but wars and tribulation until that is chapter 19 when Jesus comes back. And in the middle of it, after 3.5 years, Daniel and John in Revelation speak of these great world wars. This is why John speaks of 1260 days, 42 months. That is actually 3.5 years according to the Bible Hebrew calendar. So in the midst of the wars and rumors of wars that we hear today, we ought to expect that Israel will reach a certain time of peace, which will be followed by an attack from different countries, which brings us deep into the time of the tribulation. Are we that close to these times? It looks like it. Let us keep our eyes on this potential peace treaty and the different movement in the Middle East, and especially Saudi Arabia, who had for many years its eyes on the Temple Mount. For us, one thing really stands out. If there was a time in history when we ought to speak the word of God and proclaim salvation in Yeshua, it's now. It is now. Great opportunities are opening up for us. Let us then speak the word and pray for the fields again are white for harvest. Amen.